Welcome to the Eliot Hine TV on Ustream.
and the District Knowledge Network.
I'm your host, Dejanay.
I'm your host, Erica.
I'm your host, Kevion.
I'm your host, Alejandra.
Joining us as a guest on the show today is national gospel recording artist MC Nice.
Our show topic is spreading the gospel through platinum music.
MC Nice, thank you for joining us today.
I appreciate being here with all you beautiful people.
Our first segment is Understanding Multi-Platinum Producer, Songwriter, and Entertainer MC Nice.
How old were you when you started in the music industry?
I started in the music industry about 15 years ago when I recorded, I actually produced a guy named Tupac, right? And then I produced a guy named Nas. So I would say about that age, in my early 20s.
What musicians have you worked with in the past?
As I was stating, I worked with Tupac, Nas. There's a group called Jodeci that was out. I worked with KC from KC and JoJo. I worked with Aaron Hall, MC Light, Albie Shore. I worked with Yo-Yo. It's a bunch of artists. I worked with Prince and the Dr. Fink and Prince and the Revolution. So I did a lot of work.
You have composed many songs. What song is your favorite?
That's a good one. Well, I did a song called If I, that was on the soundtrack to the motion picture Crash. It won the Oscar. So that would have to be one of my favorites because it talked about, you know, the clashing of identities and personalities of all all diversities and all cultures. So, you know, that was one of those records that really spoke loudly.
What inspired you to be a gospel singer?
Well, I originally, when I first started in hip hop, I started out as a gospel rapper. And what happened was the church at the time wasn't receptive of gospel hip hop. And so I took my endeavors and went into, you know, different forms of music. Even though I was doing inspirational type songs, when gospel opened up, which was with Kurt Franklin and Lecrae, they kicked the doors open. And so when they opened up, it allowed me to come back and fulfill what I was supposed to do.
Who is your most influential artist?
Influential artist? Depends on the era because I study multiple artists, whether it be Rakim of the old school or Jay-Z of the new school, well, the middle school, yeah, because now you got other artists that's out like Kendrick and whatnot. But I get inspiration through all of those artists.
Is it hard to be a gospel singer?
It's hard to be everything, you know, but at the end of the day, it takes determination and focus. And when you focus and determine, everything is possible. For me, my motto is always in life has been, for any great achievement, someone has to be the first to do it, so why not you? So every day, I try to be the first to achieve something impossible.
Are you fearful before you go live for a concert?
No, never. You know what I mean? Well, just because I like entertaining people, and I like talking, so yeah, if you can talk to 10,000 people or 20,000 people or 100 people, I feel excited about the 100 just as I'm excited about the 10,000.
What went through your mind when your album was recognized as #1 on the Billboard charts?
I was shocked and surprised because I'm in a genre that's really ruled by Marvin Sapp and Kirk Franklin and, you know, Tamala Mann, you know, and here I am, a gospel dude that's a hip hop head that came in and claimed the #1 spot. Not only did I claim the #1 spot on the Billboard charts as far as gospel, I claimed the #1 spots as far as the #1 gospel digital download, the #1 single for 7 weeks. So I did maybe 4 #1s, and I was on the Billboard charts in 17 other categories.
We are going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
This broadcast is being brought to you by Eliot Hine TV on Ustream.
And the District Knowledge Network.
I'm your host, Alejandra.
I'm your host, Dejanay.
I'm your host, Erica.
I'm your host, Kevion.
Our show topic today is spreading the gospel through platinum music.
Joining us as a guest on the show is national gospel recording artist MC Nice.
Our first segment was Understanding Multi-Platinum Producer, Songwriter, Entertainer, MC Nice.
Our second segment is things you should know within the music industry.
What advice would you give someone who is looking to be a gospel artist?
If you're looking to be a gospel artist, the first thing I always tell people is to research, and then implement. Because when you get into music, it's not just about creating music and putting it out and hoping that people like it. When you get into music, you have to understand how to flow within it. Like just like when you guys are working on and being hosts and working on your own shows, you're still gonna have to learn the nuances of what it takes to be that host or that top, broadcaster. And so in music, it's the same thing. When it comes to gospel, you find out where the gospel, what gospel stations are playing, the type of music that you into, what DJs, what artists, what concerts is going on, and then you create music in that fashion. But you got to study, research, and then implement.
Many people aspire to be great musicians, but they have no idea how the music business works. In your opinion, what are some steps you should take first before you begin a music career?
Same thing, research. Before you get into anything, that's anything in life, you have to know what you're getting into. You have to know what governs that in order for you to be successful. And if you don't understand that, then you'll never be successful, because there's a plan for everything, and there's a route for everything.
Do you need a lawyer if you decide to become a singer?
You need a lawyer when it gets down to doing paperwork with the record companies. When you decide to become a singer or rapper, at the end of the day, it's just that's what you're doing. But when you take it serious, is when you go get an attorney, or you go get management, or you go get publicity. It's a bunch of steps that goes involved outside of being a singer.
If you are a singer, how important is being a professional via social media?
Social media is very important in these days, is because they dictate the trends. So if you looking at social media, it'll tell you the trends that are going on, and if you can navigate within that, then you can be successful after the fact. So social media is very important.
How many artists become bankrupt during the first year? How important is budgeting your money?
Well, here's a real good thing about that. Artists in their first year don't really make money. So if you buying in, don't buy into that. When you first making records, you normally got to go through the process of development, where the record company's developing you, and they putting you on tours, they put you on whatever, and they spending money to do that. So the only money you really making is through concerts and tours, but a lot of them don't really make real money until their second album in. So they don't really go bankrupt, because if they go bankrupt in their first year, they was already bankrupt coming in. So at the end of the day, it's a matter of maybe after 2 or 3 years, the management of money is when it all should kick in.
How has the music business changed over the last decade?
Social media. Social media has changed everything, because in the last decade, before, you would have to go to the store, buy a CD, and then you would have to, go to a television network and hope for the video to come on, or request the video. Now everything's instant. You can go to that artist, get that music. You can go to YouTube, Vimeo, or whomever, and get that video. You can go get you can know everything about the artist instantly, versus in the past you didn't really get that.
Now we are going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
This broadcast is being brought to you by Eliot Hine TV on Ustream.
And the District Knowledge Network.
I'm your host, Dejanay.
I'm your host, Erica.
I'm your host, Kevion.
I'm your host, Alejandra.
Our show topic today is spreading the gospel through platinum music.
Joining us as a guest on the show is national gospel recording artist MC Nice.
Our first segment was understanding multi-platinum producer, songwriter, and entertainer MC Nice.
Our second segment was things you should know within the music industry.
Our third segment is praise.
Talk to us about your new album, Praise, and how can people get it?
Praise. Praise took me 2 days to do. 14 songs in 2 days. So it was a song that's really based in, well, actually the album is based in scripture. I took actual scripture from the Bible and implemented it into the album Praise. And the unique thing about the album is a lot of stories you hear or records you hear are based in people that struggled, that went through trials and tribulations. In my case, I grew up in the suburbs, you know, went to a really good school, went to a really great college, don't know nothing about that life. So my purpose was to create an album that would celebrate God and celebrate praise and celebrate worship, and Praise was the album that did that. So I took creative metaphors and intertwined it with scripture and created an album that's available everywhere.
Do you have any upcoming concerts?
Actually, I got upcoming speaking engagements, not really concerts. Headed to Bowie State University after this, and then I speak to a few kids later on in the week. I have a cartoon that's on Netflix. It's the #1 urban cartoon for kids called The Jammies. It's about, 5 kids from the suburbs. They sing, dance, and rap, and their whole aspirations is to be the hip-hop stars while dealing every day in life, like facing issues like bullying, homelessness, obesity, self-awareness, but we do it in our own little quirky way.
If someone is interested in booking you as a guest, who should they contact?
You can go to mcnice.com, info at mcnice.com, and you'll get everything you need to know.
Do you have any final thoughts for our students at Eliot Hine?
Yeah, like I said, one of the thoughts was, one of my thoughts is that to strive for perfection so that you limit your mistakes. If every day you're striving for perfection, you'll make minimal mistakes. So where you guys go from here, just constantly strive to be the best that you can be, and you'll be that person.
MC Nice, thank you for being a guest on our show.
Thank y'all for having me.
This broadcast is being brought to you by Pepco.
Make sure you check us out on Ustream,
Facebook,
YouTube,
and Twitter.
and the District Knowledge Network.
Have a great day.
Yeah.